चक्षुरुन्मितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते रमपदस्वामिनिति नामे विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामे. So we are continuing the book Nectarean Ocean of the Holy Name. So we are in the middle section where we are seeing the offenses. So today we are going to read 10th offense. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Sutvapi nama mahatmayam ya pritirahito dama. In order to consciously avoid this offense, it is necessary to understand the nature of material attachments, how they bind to material consciousness and abstract offenseless chanting. For this, it is helpful to study the mentality of a materially attached person. Because his intelligence is covered by false ego, a person with a material mentality sticks to the concept of I and mine. He thinks I am a Brahmana, I am a Vaishnava, I am a musician, or I am a rich man. In other words, he thinks himself to be the doer. He sees the world as his property and considers himself the creator of his destiny and the enjoyer of his activities. Aham mamadi parama. He thinks himself to be his own protector and maintainer and he lives in the conception of this is my position, my wealth, my wife. These are my brothers, my sons, and my daughters. Thus, he is fully convinced of being able to attain all perfection and fame through his own efforts. Such persons are very proud of their knowledge. They consider themselves to be the Lord and Master and believe that they are able to increase and expand art and science by their own intelligence. Lord Rishabhadeva calls this Gnanasya Mohoyam Aham Mameti. The illusion of the materially attached is the wrong conception of Aham, I, and Mama, my. Attachment to bodily designations is a symptom of spiritual immaturity. It is an obstacle in the development of devotional service. This deeply rooted mentality can only be overcome by complete surrender to the Holy Name. When the spirit soul wants to enjoy in this material world, he has to accept a false identity just to be able to move and act in this foreign medium. If we want to dive into water, we similarly have to first dress in a diving suit. Our lungs have to be adapted to the respiration underwater by means of oxygen bottles, and our eyes needs diving glasses. This means that we actually exchange our senses in such a way that we are able to exit underwater. Similarly, the spirit soul has to put on the diving suit material of the material body to be able to exit in the kingdom of Maya. Our lungs are nothing but material oxygen bottles of the spirit soul. In one of his ecstasies, Lord Chaitanya impressively expressed this point. My dear friends, unless I serve the transcendental form, qualities and pastimes of Sri Krishna, all my days and all my senses will become entirely useless. Now I am uselessly bearing the burden of my senses, which are like stone blocks and dried wood. I do not know how long I will be able to continue without Shyam. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 2.28. The self-realized spiritually perfected soul can clearly realize the material body which he carries around with all its needs as a burden. Not only is material covering the body, but his whole material existence is discerned by him as an unnatural encumbrance. In the same way as one may feel the pleasure of a bundle of wood on the shoulders, Sarvagna Acharya describes such an attitude. O my Lord, how extraordinary your devotees are. For them, the wide ocean is like a tiny puddle, the sun like a firefly, the looming golden Mount Sumera like a lump of dirt, a powerful emperor like a mirror servant, priceless jewels like useless stones, desired trees like dry twigs for them. The whole material existence is like an insignificant bundle of straw. What else is to say? Disregard their own body as a useless burden. Manasiksha text 5. The materialistic person, however, completely misconceiving this burden, explains that's me. When a person hears about the glories of the holy name, he does not accept them. If he chants, then it is only as a mere social obligation or out of custom. In this way, he will never experience real pleasure in chanting and hearing the holy names. He is a hypocrite who chants the holy name disdainfully, thus being on the stage of Namabhasha. He will never attain prema, pure love of God. Maharaj Parikshit describes this materialistic mentality which leads one around in materialistic activities as follows. One may know that sinful activity is injurious for him because he actually sees that criminal is punished by the government and rebuked by people in general, and because he hears from scriptures and learned scholars that one is thrown into hellish conditions in the next life for committing sinful acts. Nevertheless, in spite of such knowledge, one is forced to commit sins again and again, even after performing acts of atonement. Therefore, what is the value of such atonement? Srimad Bhagavatam 619. For a materialistic person with the mentality to enjoy at all costs, all help comes too late. In spite of instructions, in spite of instructions from others, personal experiences, and a combination of both, this this is illustrated by someone who is determined not to wake up and thus prevents to sleep. It is impossible to awaken him. Similarly, a person who wants to retain his materialistic mentality can only be liberated with great difficulty, and he will not able to taste the nectar of the holy name. Therefore, Srila Vishwanath, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur renders an alternate definition of the 10th offense. So more 1.5 page. Okay, let me finish. To not feel pleasure in chanting the holy name, even after having heard of the glories of Sri Harinama. Nevertheless, there is a remedy. In such a situation, one should associate with personalities who have accepted the holy name and have attained the platform of Shuddha Bhakti, pure Bhakti. They have given up all material attachments. They worship Krishna's lotus feet in a humble state of mind and are always chanting his names. The offender should serve these persons with the intention to also forego his attachments. By worshipping Krishna's lotus feet in great devotion and fully taking shelter of the chanting of the holy name, he will gradually be able to focus on the holy name. Attraction will develop and the egoistic conception of I and mine will disappear. In this way, he will cross the ocean of material ignorance. So I will stop here today. So this is one of the very, very important offense we need to take. We need to be consider each and every moment in our chanting. So this 10th offense, last but not least, we will chant every day 10 offenses. Not to have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. So basically, as we are in the material world, definitely our senses will come into contact with the different objects. From there, different desires will develop. That is very common, and the concept of I and mine will develops in our mind. In that way, we will maintain or we will develop new attachments every day. I mean, like new desires. But in uh, each and every action, we need to remember that what is the purpose behind that, and how we can relate it that to the Krishna. So, for example, we are going to work, 8 hours we are spending in the work. So, what is the behind of the work? First thing is that we are working, we are going to the office for our own purification. Second thing, we have a family, we need to bring some Lakshmi to home and we need to take care of the family. Plus, we need to offer rest to our deities if we have at home. That is the basic concepts. We need to remember that one. So, other than that, if you deviate, when we stick with our concept of I and mine, so definitely different designs will come and we will think differently. Like, okay, this job is not sufficient, so we will develop another design, like designations, promotions, etc., fancy titles. So in that way, slowly different desires will come, and different things will rotate in our mind, and it will disturb our chanting, and we will maintain some attachments on the chanting. But when we know the pure fundamental concept behind our actions in this material world, then this will this will go down. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also explained very clearly. Unless and until if you are not pleasing, ultimately, then all the senses, actions, whatever we are doing, that will not have any use or any benefit at all. We need to serve the transcendental form, qualities and pastimes of Lord Krishna. In that way, we can develop the loving feeling and we can overcome these uh, fear desires. So I will stop here.